Off my face, don't know where I am, cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam. Ay. Amsterdam.
Everybody knows this track as a tech house anthem, but I kept thinking, what if this thing got kidnapped by UK Dubstep? And instead of making just another club edit, I wanted it to feel more heavier, more darker, and more unpredictable. The first thing I changed over here was the groove. In tech house, the groove is usually a little bit cleaner and more repetitive, but I wanted this staggered UK dubstep movement to it. So I layered drums something like this. For the kicks, I usually like something which knocks through the mix. This is how the kick sounds. Pretty straightforward. And for the snare, I was going for that high-pitched tonal Skrillex-y snare, which sounds like this. Also, one more thing about the groove of the snare, I really had Sammy Verji in my head, how he plays with the snares and how he makes these different grooves, and these ghost snares that he adds, it really drives the track forward. Sorry bro, मैं शायद take में आया हूँ. I apologize for that. One of my friends came in the middle and disturbed my recording. Also, one thing about me, I'm really shy around the camera. I usually do not talk as much to the camera as I am doing right now. Also, this is my very first track breakdown video for my own YouTube channel, and I am really excited to see how it actually turns out. So, for the hi-hat bit, which has most of the groove, I layered these 3 open hi-hats and 1 crash. I'm gonna play all of them together so we know how it gels into the mix exactly. A little bit swingy, just how UK dubstep hi-hats are. And let's listen to the entire drum group. How is it coming together and how it sounds? And there are these small snare fillers in between which I had used for the build-up also. So I had made these rolling snares. I took this snare sample, made this rolling pattern for the snare, which was then high passed, and then there was a low pass automation for the build-up, and I transposed it 6 semitones just to increase the pitch. Very standard thing EDM producers do. Let's see how that sounds. So this was the snare groove. I chose not to stick to the grid for the snare groove. I put it on offset a little bit just to get that swing in the snare also while the track is building towards the drop, and it kind of matches the groove of our hi-hats. Now my favorite section. I really love to design basses. I know it's a very bad practice and I should not do it. Of lately I've been trying to make the atmosphere of the track first, the chords, and lay down the melodic and harmonic instruments first. Let's see what have we done with the basses. The very first thing, I have a very straightforward stab on the first beat of the drop, which sounds like this. Then I have a rolling bass. My inspiration for this bass was Hamdi and Casey Club Onslaught, and they have this stunning rolling bass going on in the drop section, and I really love how Hamdi uses one note sub basses throughout his drop, and I actually tried keeping it that way and it really works. I found this sample on Splice of this rolling bass, which sounds like this. We'll check it out without the processing first. The rolling bass sounds like this. I had put an EQ, just cutting the lows off because I already have another layer of sub backing it up. Then I had put on thermal for some saturation, and then I had EQ'd it again because it was adding a lot of low end rumble. And then after the processing, not a huge difference, but I mean, it works in my favor. And then I had layered it with a straight sub on which I had done some pitch automations. Okay, so the pitch automation was on Serum itself. I think in the Matrix, I'm just automating the master tune. pretty straightforward and simple sub bass. I have filler stab. It sounds like a Reese bass, heavily inspired by Onslaught. There's another layer of stab just to move things a bit here and there. It sounds like this. If we listen to the bass group in its entirety, this is how it comes together. Let's play it with the drums and check what's the groove of the track looking like right now. Now we had this catchy lead melody from the track itself. This lead melody, I have just chopped it a little bit to give it another swing apart from the original melody that there is. It's amazing, by the way. I want it to sound a little bit like the original, or maybe just keep the ear candy bit like the original and not do much over there, and then I am just cutting the lower frequencies on the melody. Same with the vocals. We have like super hypnotic vocals, and I think in UK Dubstep people usually follow this vocal looping pattern. During the build up I've just chopped it like this. Amsterdam. I've just chopped the word damn and repeated it in a rhythm which I feel goes well with the track. I don't know what do you guys think, but I would really love to know your thoughts in the comments. Now, one of my most favorite elements in the track would be this riser, which you might have heard in tracks by Skrillex. He uses this riser a lot. So I had come across this sound design tutorial while I was doing this remix, and from there I got to know how to actually make this riser come to life, because before that I have tried multiple times. It sounds something like this, very thin, very high, but it adds a lot of intensity to your build-ups. I absolutely love the texture of this riser, and if we play it in the context of the track and how it intensifies the track.
Off my face, don't know where I am, cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam. Damn, 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 cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam. Damn, 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 cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam.
I did not want the second drop to sound same as the first one, but I also did not make a very big variation in it. I just added one element for it to sound a little bit different, and that was, guess what? Another bass. Basically a screech, and I have put this rolling bass off when the screech is coming in because I think clashing frequencies, you know. I also tried designing this from scratch, just 2 saw waves, warping on oscillator A, nothing too fancy. The LFO is just FM from B on the oscillator A, just to give it that slight texture. And then there is a sub which is going through this effect chain. A little bit of dimension, no hyper. There is quite a lot tube distortion, mix around 60%. And then I have just boosted the highs a little for it to be a little more crispier, a little bit more sharper. There's not a huge difference in the build-up as well, because I think I was feeling a little lazy. Haha. I had just added this 4-bar fake drop or a fake out before the actual drop comes in, and let's check it out. How does that actually sound?
Amsterdam. Off my face, don't know where I am, cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam.
So I made this remix more like a DJ tool and not like a full-fledged remix. I can just spin it at a few of my shows. Tech house music is super fun, but try to make it more fun, adding some bass lines into it. I would really wanna hear your thoughts on it. What do you guys think? If there's a track you want me to destroy, feel free to drop it in the comments and I'll try to make a flip or a remix or a DJ tool out of it. I'll see you guys sometime soon, maybe in another track breakdown video. Who knows? Bye.
Off my face, don't know where I am, cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam. Damn, 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 damn. Amsterdam. Damn, 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 damn. Got my drugs from Amsterdam. Damn, 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 damn. 'Cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam. Damn, 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 damn. 'Cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam. Off my face, don't know where I am. 'Cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam. Damn, 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 damn. 'Cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam. Damn, 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 damn. 'Cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam. Off my face, don't know where I am. 'Cause I got my drugs from Amsterdam.